Hindu temple in Providence. It's now a heritage site, right?
I know that temple very well. That
Yeah,
mandir on
it's
the,
now
colored glass.
It's now a heritage site. It used to be all glass, yeah. Up here, this is the East Indian Cricket Club, right? Now, the East Indian Cricket Club, which is on right across on High Street, on Camp Street. It is the most prime property in Georgetown, across from the barracks, the British barracks. So where did the Indian businessmen and professionals, when they got the money to buy a community center, they didn't go down in Alboystown or go down in the back dam and build it. They went right up in the Queen of England's face, right next to Queen's College, right next to the Young Women's Men's Christian Association, right next to Nonpareil, which is the Portuguese club, right next to the Chinese Association, right next to Technical Institute, right? So this is where, these are things we need to think about. It's not picture like a picture, right? It's to show how these men, 50 years ago, I mean, from the 1900s to the 1950s, there's about 150 years ago, no, 112 years ago, how they were providing for us. When they built Indian Education Trust College, it wasn't very far from the East Indian Cricket Club, right? And it was right next to the Technical Institute.
That's the GTI. I know where it is, next to GTI.
So, this is really something about understanding, right? Where those men and women were at, right? Where the people of that period were at. Now remember, my grandfather is a first generation. All these men that they banded together are first generation of the boys.
Right, so it was very progressive to think how
right?
fast they moved
Today
forward.
our children come here to Richmond Hill, and they're all failing in schools, right? So that's another thing we talk about. But so this is the children from from one of the schools, could be from an orphanage also. They came and they probably did something with them and they took a picture of them. But I want you to see how everything, the composition, the documentation, right? How important it was, and the sense of history that those people had in those days. You understand? Okay, over here, we need more light. Anybody wants to donate some lights, that would be nice. Look, over here now, you have the East Indian Society that was formed, right? The British Guyana East Indian Association. This is Jung Bahadur Singh. Where's Jung? Or something, right? But you see, when you have this a white man here, he's probably some kind of governor. So, but they came together, they sat, and they took that picture. They took it, they took the document, so that 100 years later we can have it. You understand? Okay, over here now, they got the names here, but I need a magnifying glass. You have a magnifying glass?
Yeah.
You want to read this name?
Okay. We have the governor. Oh no, not governor. It's D. Ramrup. I guess this
Mr.
is
Ramrup,
sitting left to right.
Mr. Ramrup was one of the wealthiest Indians. He had a huge house on Camp Street next door to where the Belvedere was, with a big garden and stuff, right? Yeah.
Right, he's vice president. A. Rangila. Or Rangila.
Rangila.
Okay. He is
Senior Vice President.
also vice president, senior. And you have Honorable Dr. J.D. Singh.
J.B. Singh.
J.B.
That's my grandfather, yeah.
O.B. Order of the British Empire. President. And then we have Dr. C.B. Jagan.
Chetty Bharat Jagan. This Chetty. Well, yeah, the Indian, this group really nurtured Chetty also, yeah.
And then you have standing Bharat Singh. Pandit Pai Turam.
Palturam.
Palturam. Okay. C.R. Jacob.
C.R. Jacob is another great Indian. He was a
Patraj
minister.
Singh.
Patraj Singh was another great thing. He used to
R.B.
own
Singh.
all the movie cinemas. Where?
R.B. Singh.
Don't know him.
And C.M.
Where's R.B. Singh?
One,
No, which one is
two,
R.B.
three,
Singh up here?
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And then you have C.M. Oh no. R.B. Singh C.M. And then K.M. Gobind. Bisindiyal.
Okay.
Some names are missing.
So you see, this is the British Guyana East Indian Association that built the what's now known as Everest, right? Okay, so now over here, that woman that Jung Bahadur married, who's the daughter of Sital Prasad, right? Her name is Alice Bhagwande Singh. That's right here, born in Suriname. When she married him, when they went to Scotland, when he came back, she came to Guyana, and she began to organize the Indian women. But we sort of grew up in a similar environment. Up here is Jung Bahadur working in Lenora with cane, with the rice, with the sugar people and rice people organizing. And this is our Ram and Gatraj. We know a few of the key people. Some of these pictures got to be blown up bigger also. Okay. So over here, this is the Reverend C.F. Andrews, who was a right hand to Mahatma Gandhi. He came asking for support for the independence movement. Yeah. This is the first Swami that came to open up the Kopanjan ashram. This is Mountbatten is her name, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. This is Lady Mountbatten, who she and her husband were the viceroys of India. This is Raman Gadraj here, and this is Alice Bhagwande receiving an award from them, right? This is one of the first Indian families, the Tanis. Mm-hmm. Or is it the Parsrams? These are the Parsrams. Tani. This is the Tani family. They were the first. People there. Tanis, right? Okay, so over there.
There's the Kapalanis.
Kapalanis. Yeah.
Kapalanis.
They came later.
They came later, but
it's either the Parsrams or the Tanis.
They gotta be Tanis.
Yeah. Okay, so up here is Sital Prasad, who is Alice's daughter, his father.
I like his mustache.
Yeah. And this is his home here. This is where he lived. Over here is where they're also, that's in Suriname. All this is in Suriname. This is him when he was the chief. He was younger, when he just graduated. And this, Hari, is her brother who died in the war. He was a merchant marine.
Who's that?
Oh, Hari.
Oh, that's Hari. Oh.
Hari, yeah. Now this woman here, her name is Anna, right? Now Anna was born on a ship in Suriname, and when she was born, her mother gave birth to her. And they used to adopt a lot of children used to come, and they used to give them to homes. But Sital over there, he ended up adopting several children, and she was among one of them. And her name was Anna. And then she never got married, so she sort of stayed with the family. And eventually, she got married to this man here, who was a widower in Guyana, and his name is Pitambar Dubey. And he was a wealthy farmer, so he actually used to bankroll all the Indian projects. One of the bankrollers of Indian projects. So you see, the activists and the thinkers and the dreamers, they had the money people on their side. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so this is Rajkumari. This is Rajkumari's older sister, and that's her husband, Ramjatan Singh. Sorry. This is an early picture of theater in Guyana. This is one of the early actresses.
What's her name?
Her name is Mrs. Omar. But they obviously performed in something like Alice, this woman here in the picture there, right? She formed the British Guyana Dramatic Society, and they used to do plays in Hindi, Sanskrit. They used to do plays by Kalidas and all these things.
Now,
right?
Prita, who is the other two?
This is Alice Bhagwande's eldest daughter. Her name is Chandrawati. She ended up marrying a lawyer, and then her son became a judge in Guyana, who still is judge in Guyana. And this woman here, Nellie, her name is Nellie. She was one of the children. She was the only daughter that Jung Bahadur had, sister. Remember the mother died? She was the second to last child. So she sort of grew up with that. And then over here, these are dancing recitals that were held in the home of Jung Bahadur Singh, right? So the home was actually the community center the meeting place.
No.
Everything happened there. There was an article out in the newspapers a few years ago called "If Wood Could Talk," right? That, and they selected like his home, the St. George's Cathedral, and a few other wooden homes, and the Tate House, right? So and here is this woman. This is that woman, Muhammad Omar, I think is her name, right? And this is Auntie down here. But this is basically the sarangi, the sitar, the tabla, the harmonium.
Who's Auntie now?
She's over here.
Yeah,
And
but what's her relation?
they really presented it. The other day we were invited by this girl, Annette Cicheran, to do a concert at their home for their father's birthday.
Was this?
And it reminded me of this picture.
Right, the way it was done.
And we went in with this picture in mind,
mind.
and we set it up exactly like that.
Yeah.
And made it so like incredible. Right?
This looks like, the woman and the man are together in the group performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was this the same? Was this mirrored in India at the same time?
Yes.
Yeah.
But do you know that my great-grandmother, Subhagya Devi, she was a Tan singer.
Okay.
And they lived there. They're Bhojpuri people, but they lived in Bengal. But also, because Budbir Singh was in Trinidad, one of the brothers, we used to have dancing competition between Guyana, Trinidad, and Suriname.
Right.
We used to have Tasa competitions.
Yes.
And Jamaica.
So, and Jamaica, and there was a lot of interaction. We didn't see ourselves as separate.
At Guyanese, Trinidad.
We were Jahaji people, right? We were Jahaji people. And so up here now, this is a special photo. This is in Lanora, Haifla, which is in the plantations across one of the biggest plantations, Lanora Estate. And this is a group of dance singers here. And right in the center is my father, Hari.
Wait, let me see that.
And that's actually, yeah.
This was
Which
him in
one-
the
which
white
one is
suit.
that?
The one in the white suit with the bouquet in
Could
his
you see?
hand.
We gotta get more like
The one
That's
who was
him.
this him here in the middle.
Yes.
You want to take it down?
No, I see.
Put the stick in
Them
the
his
middle.
hands.
We're gonna have to get telescopes. Now, I just want to say something, right? These are a few of a collection that is over 300 pictures, right? Documenting many phases. We have the phases. We have the phases when Chetty Jagan's generation
Right.
and Balram Singh Rai and all these things. We have so many pictures of also with the government when Jung Bahadur became the first parliamentarian, local parliamentarian in the British Parliament in Guyana. So many pictures. We have pictures of Alice Bhagwande working with the League of Women Voters to show you that in the 40s they were doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Right? All we're thinking about is meeting the bills, right? And fighting up over the 2 children we got when these women had like 8, 10 children. You know what I'm saying? So also it's interesting to see how the Indian women were also working with the Red Cross, with the Young Women's Christian Association, with all these different, Caribbean organizations, that we were not exactly the ones who had emerged out of the plantations were very cosmopolitan, they were very interactive, and things like that. Sort of like where we're at, and we're sort of like rolling back a little bit, just trying to like gather our community back. It's about creating our history, of documenting our history, the 3 generations and things like that. Because we're not only dealing with the one identity, we're dealing with multiple identities. And so, in this way, we can sort of go forward without so many holes in our.
I think it's a good effort.
Very, very good.
Let's take a picture of everybody over there by the picture.